So now we're going to show you how to actually stretch the carpet. Now then, again, stretching carpet, just like repairing carpet, there are different situations. Not every wall is just rectangle or square. You kind of have to use your head a little bit to figure out what's the best way to stretch it, because you can stretch it in multiple ways. However, the basic principles of how to carpet stretch is always the same. They just vary depending upon the situation. Again, as you do more stretch jobs, you learn the difference in every situation. So again, what we do first is we're going to use our carpet awl, go in the corner so that we can remove this or disengage the tack strip, the carpet off the tack strip, I mean. So after we got it in, we pull it up. Cool. Got it out. Now that we know it's out, we're just going to slowly pull it off the tack strip here. Be very careful. In this closet, there's not any seams. It's just going to be one piece of carpet. But in the room, you're going to have a seam. So you never want to just yank, because then you can open up a seam. If you open up a seam, no worries. There's ways to fix it. But, you don't want to do extra work, right? So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to remove the tack strip or disengage the carpet off the tack strip up to about, I would say, a foot or less from the wall we aren't stretching from, right? So we're going to pull the carpet in this direction. So we don't want to remove it completely off the tack strip, because then obviously it's going to come off the wall. So we leave about a foot to 6 inches, just depending on, remember, every situation is different, but about a foot to 6 inches on average. And we're going to do that along every part of the wall. Again, be careful. Usually I keep a hand here and slowly move it here. So just go along. Again, to about 6 inches to a foot. And now the carpet's good. Because essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use our power stretcher to push it in. All right, so I'm going to show you what we're actually doing here. So these are the wrinkles here, as you can see. The carpet is buckling here and here. So if you see that the wrinkles are going this way, right? If you think about it like logistically, if you want the wrinkles to flatten out, because that's the goal is to flatten it, you want to pull it in the direction that it's going. So if the wrinkles are going this way, meaning they're going, horizontal, then we're going to want to pull the carpet that way, because if we pull it that way, it should flatten, right? So that's why we're going to go this way. Now again, I could go this way, right? But we got a seam here. We want to stay away from seams as much as we can. Again, sometimes you have to open up seams because you just can't avoid them. But in this situation, we can avoid the seams, so we're going to. So basically what we're going to show you is how we set up the power stretcher and essentially how it works. So first thing is first, we're going to take the head of the stretcher. Okay, this is always the first piece. Okay, if you want to follow me here. This piece is going to go, we're going to start over here. If you want to come in. So we can show, right? Because we got a solid wall right there, and that's what we're going to use to push off. Okay, right there. So I'll show you how you want to position this. If you'll come up over here a little bit. So as you can see, the tack strip is right there. That's what holds the carpet after we stretch it in. So we want to be about 1 inch or so before it. Okay, we don't want to be over it. We don't want to be too far back. We want to be about, like I said, as you can see, roughly 1 inch or so. Okay, same way. Remember, there's tack strip on this side too. So roughly 1 inch away, right? So that's the first one. Then next, we're going to use what's called the extension poles. Okay, this is the extension pole. We're going to put this on here. All right. We're going to connect it. Again, you see this? To push it into here, we're going to close it up in here. Boom, there we go. Then we can, 2 options here. We really don't have much more space, right? So we don't want to use the longer pole. We want to use the shorter stretcher pole. So what we're going to do, same way, pull it, right? Remember, push it in, turn it so that it's not aligned, so you can pull it out pretty easy, and then align it so you can see how the holes align, right? So that's how you know when you pull it down right here, you're not trying to find it, right? Because you see how they're aligned. Okay. Again, same deal. Hold it in. Push it in. And then our final one, right? This goes on the end because we're going to use this to basically reinforce it. All right. And then we got everything here. So this is how it's set up. These are going to be the first 2 things we need. So I'm going to show you a little bit. Really, we're going to do 2 pulls, and then we're going to move to the next part because it's the same, right? So again, this over. about an inch. Let the handle go down, right? And then essentially what we're gonna do, we're gonna push the two buttons in on the extension pole, get it to the wall. Now, there are different variations of how you can have it, right? You see this is pretty high, this is a little lower, and this is really low. You never really want to go too high. If it's a really big room, that's still pretty high. If it's a really big room, maybe you go like that, high. But really on average, this is short. You don't want to pull too hard. So you're gonna go really honestly like about right there. Now Harley, you're gonna say, well Harley, how do I know how high or how low? It just takes experience. It just takes you kind of working it, and you'll eventually kind of figure out like where you should be. Okay. And essentially what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, and since we see what's happening is this is gonna push off of that wall. There are teeth at the bottom of this. It's gonna pull it forward, right? So we're just gonna go. Got it, right? Now sometimes the carpet will move a little bit off the wall. So we use our kicker, and there's a little notch right here. Okay, and we're gonna line it up with the notch. And essentially what we're gonna do is a light kick, just to make sure, you know, the carpet's positioned straight. And then we take our axe, and you just tuck it in. So you see, that's the extra carpet, right? And then we just basically do the same thing all across the room. So we go here, same thing, slide it down a little. Use the wall for push. And as you can see, look at the wrinkle. You guys saw how I did already, but watch the wrinkle as I pull here. See how that wrinkle went away there? And that's what our goal is, right? We want to remove the wrinkle. If the carpet stays wrinkled too long, it can cause permanent damage. So essentially what we're doing is we're helping the homeowner by not having to replace the carpet because we're fixing it for them. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this here. Again, you're just doing the same process over and over as you go. Big thing here is you see there's a door, right? You never want to push off of a door. You need to push off of a wall. If you push off the door, you are going to break the door. Always have a solid wall you can push off of, okay? We have ways of going across doors if the doors are too long. Sometimes we'll lay a stretcher pole across the door to act like it's an artificial wall. But you never want to push off of a door. Always push off of a baseboard. But for now, we're going to finish stretching this here, and then we're going to show you what we do next. See, we've stretched the carpet. That's our extra carpet that we're going to use our carpet knife to cut. But really quick, we're just going to show you how to break the tool down. So essentially what you want to do, let the tool go all the way down. We're going to, again, push it in at the two notches here, and just, okay, and boom, we got that out. Same way again, push the two notches in. Okay, and same way again, push your two notches in. And then we're just gonna place it in our stretcher box. And really quick, I'll just show you how it gets placed in the stretcher box. That way you know exactly how it goes in, because there is a slight way to do it. So first things first, you're always gonna place the head of the stretcher. Again, here are the teeth so you can see it. The head of the stretcher first. See how it goes there? The next thing that goes in is what we use to basically push off the wall. As you can see, it goes about right there. Then we're just gonna put the stretcher poles where the notches are. Okay, and then as you can see, this side looks a little different, right? Okay, I'll show you. Okay, so this right here goes right here. As you can see, there's a square here. You see that square? That's how you know that goes there. And this, you can really either put it on this side or this side. Now I have a latch right here, so I'm gonna choose this side. You wanna make sure everything's good. This is how it should look after you put it up. Then you close it, and latch it, and that's how you put it away. So after it's been stretched, we've got to reattach the carpet to the tack strip. We aren't stretching the carpet this way. We are reattaching the carpet to the tack strip. Two completely different things. We do not stretch with this. You do not stretch with this. Very important. So, same deal. You're going to put in about ½ an inch to an inch from the tack strip. You're going to turn it. Always go as far as you can with the circle. You want to go as far in as you can. And then you don't have to hit it so hard, but just a light kick. And use your plastic easy tuck. Just tuck it back in. Same way. And you're just going to do this basically all along the wall here. Again, you get your stuff here, move that to the side, put that over there. Okay, duck under a little. As you can see, we do have to be a little creative. Now, normally, I would ever suggest you use knee pads. This is a very small room. We do provide knee pads, so it's not like you don't have a choice. But, you know, for us, this is pretty quick, so we're not too worried about the knee pads here. Long term, you definitely want to wear them. Same way here. Essentially, all you're doing, holding it, just putting it right back in. Okay? So now you see how that side works, nice and clean. We're basically going to do the same to the other side. Okay, it's good. Reattach the carpet to the tack strip on the opposite ends that you aren't stretching, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the excess carpet. So essentially what it is a carpet knife. Okay, there's a little handle here. You twist it, and that's how you get access to all your blades. You most of the time want to use a good blade. Every now and again you change it. A mentor of mine always said, Harley, how do you know if your blade is worn or not? And I was like, I don't know. He said, don't be a cheap bastard. Change your blade, right? So don't feel like you have to work with a bad blade. If you work with a blade that's worn, it's going to be harder to use. If you're not sure, there's usually 4 sides to a blade. 1, 2, and then you can flip it, 3, 4. But if you're not sure if it's used or not, it's okay. Blades are super cheap. Just opt to use a new blade. So here goes the blades. Again, be very careful. Take a blade. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place it here, right there. Take your old blade, place it underneath the new blades. So that way you're not leaving blades out, right? Because that's a liability. If there's kids, they walk around and take a blade. Then you go, close it, and then twist it, the knife. Make sure it's nice and tight. Here, you don't want your blade moving around. Right? Oh, see, it wasn't all the way tight. Now it is. And then what you're going to do, very, very important. Yes, you've already used your axe to basically push the carpet into the gully. The gully is the gap between the tack strip and the baseboard. But always before you cut, just do it one more time because you don't want to cut short, right? So just go, even though you did this once, both hands, go. Make sure it's nice and tight in there. Okay, nice and tight, nice and tight. Trust me, this extra step here will save you a lot of problems. And then essentially what you're gonna do, take your knife, and if you want to come up a little closer so I can show, we're gonna take our knife and we're gonna go right in that crevice. As hard as we can, push it in, and just push it in. As you push in, pull. Push in, pull. Push in, pull. Okay, then we're gonna switch sides. Okay. Okay, and make sure this is all the way out. Okay, then after you've done that, you just pull it out. And as you can see, all comes out. You see there's still a little extra. Be very careful. Keep your fingers as far away as possible. And here, that releases it. Looks good. Same way here, same deal. Keep your fingers as far away as possible. Cool, same deal. Now we've got this. This is our extra. This is what we stretched out. Then what we're gonna do, use our Easy Tuck one more time and just go across and pull all this out. So that when we use our vacuum to vacuum, we're not having to worry about like trying to get it all out. So we just go here, get a nice clean finish here. And then you get your vacuum and you are good to go. Nice and vacuum, nice and clean. Everything looks nice and tucked. Everything's along the wall. Nothing looks bulging. What we came to fix here is nice and flat. And we're good to go. Again, this is pretty easy. It's not like one of the harder ones we do. Every room shape is different, so you just got to keep in mind that like the principles are the same, but what you must do to fix, honestly, the only way to really learn and get good is to keep doing it. So this is a good way to start. This looks pretty good, and the customer's definitely going to be happy. So these are the basics, and I'm pretty sure if you get the basics down, if you keep doing a couple other stretch jobs and see the different types of rooms, you'll get really confident, and you'll really be able to stretch really anything. So we are good to go. Another 5-star customer review definitely coming after this.